So we head north now to supporters from Iceland. It is my pleasure to introduce the distinguished delegation from Iceland, along with their speaker. He served as both the Prime Minister and Ambassador to the United States, Mr. Geir Haarde. Please do welcome them.
Dear Madame Rajavi, dear friends, I want to thank Petri Roman very much for giving us such an illustrious example of what can be done in a situation where a dictatorship has to be overthrown. It doesn't have to take long, right? So let's all make sure that this happens. I would like to begin by saying that free elections are the pillar of any democracy. If the people are supposed to rule, it is the fundamental assumption for any legitimate government of the people, by the people, and for the people, like Abraham Lincoln, President Lincoln, once said. So a few days ago, like Madam Rajavi just explained to us, there was a so-called presidential election in Iran. But like other elections in that country in these times, they are a tool for maintaining an illusion of democracy, while being tightly controlled by the ruling elements, the clerics, to ensure their authoritarian grip. The Guardian Council actually vets and picks candidates on criteria including unwavering loyalty to the regime. So how can you have a free and fair election on that basis? And this includes candidates with ties to the Revolutionary Guard and a history of human rights abuses. As a result, all elections in Iran are a sham at the present time, amounting to a carefully controlled situation. For example, the March 2024 parliamentary elections saw a turnout of just 7%, and the rest of the population, 93%, boycotted the election, showing us all that they see through this sham. It was an coordinated act of civil disobedience, rejecting the regime's legitimacy and demanding its overthrow. Now, the struggle for freedom and democracy in Iran is a universal fight for human rights and dignity, for the protection of our own justice and democratic systems. And it's time for the free world to support the legitimacy of the NCRI and its resistance units against the clerical regime in Iran. The opposition to the Iranian regime is legitimate, and the European and some American policymakers have failed to see this. And for the past 45 years, Iran has suffered from this terrible regime that we all know about, that systematically violates human rights, with no room for democratic or fundamental freedoms. So appeasement has not worked, not in this case, not ever. I suggest that we all do whatever we can to support, get people in our home countries to support this movement right here. In Iceland, my home country, the majority of parliament recently supported a statement containing the elements that I have described, the elements supporting human rights and freedom and democracy in Iran. And the delegation from Iceland here today is very proud of this position that was taken also by many, many other parliaments. So let's move on in the struggle. Madam Rajavi, we are with you. We wish you all the best of luck. Best of luck to the resistance fighters in Iran and outside of Iran. Thank you.